Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Crowley. I believe this is episode 151. Excuse me. All right, that's the way to start a video. Um, we so I may be doing these outside ones a lot. For you, Jennifer Montgomery Reedy, I appreciate that you watch these videos a lot, and you are my number one fan, and I am thankful for you. I'm thankful for Janky Jank Productions, probably my number two fan, or at least. Oh, excuse me. Jeez, I just ate a salad. My body's not dealing with it well because I usually eat like garbage. So, let's start the video, shall we? This is going to be a late homage to. And by the way, I want to thank anyone that watches these. I appreciate it. I got 28 whole subscribers. This is nothing special. I just appreciate that once in a while you guys listen to me and comment on it. And like I say, if you ever want me to do something, comment what you'd like me to talk about for 10 minutes if you want. But anyway, so having said that, thank you all very much for watching. Let's see, what was I going to talk? Oh, so what I'm doing today is a late homage, a belated homage for Memorial Day to people in the military. Not all people in the military, I'm going to be very specific. People in my life that I know that are in the military. I may forget some of you. If I do, I apologize. But there are enough that I can definitely do 10 minutes of shout outs. First, Jennifer Montgomery Reedy. I know you've been in Germany a long time. You've been serving with the armed forces. I forgot which branch because I'm a dipshit. And I know I believe Army, and I know your late husband, also was a military man, and I am thankful for you guys. I do want to kind of say, as you know about me, many of you have seen my videos. You know I'm pretty much a leftist, not a big fan of the military-industrial complex, but that doesn't mean that the individuals within it are bad people, or there are a ton of good people and bad people in every walk of life. I know great comics who are great people. I know comics who are terrible people. So it's the same everywhere, in my opinion. But so yeah, but I do appreciate what you do. I do appreciate that you are standing for something, and what you believe this country is about. So I think that's really great. I do want to also, there's another weird way to start this video. Part of my homage on Memorial Day is to talk about how my father actually dodged the Vietnam draft. Okay, I know it's weird. And I'm going to adjust this a little bit. I'm trying to keep those little flecks of light off my face. I recorded at a weird time of day. Sun's coming through the trees and lighting me oddly. So my dad dodged the draft in 1965. And I'm glad he did, because I wouldn't be here if he didn't. Now, having said that, was it not the right thing to do? Probably not. Was the draft wrong in the first place, though? I think so. But it's kind of a funny way how he ended up dodging the draft. My uncle, who was part of this homage, was a couple years older than my father. He was in the Marines, and he flew missions over Vietnam. He was the real deal. And he also knew my father very well, being his older brother. And he told my dad, "You don't want any part of this shit. And if you get drafted, you're not flying planes. I'm a pilot. I get to fly over this shit for the most part, and my danger is way less than the guys that are on the ground. You're going to be on the ground. So we're going to get you. We're going to figure out a way to." Get you out of this shit, out of this mess, without you having to go to Canada or to college, because you can't afford college. And Canada, even though it isn't that far from New York City, still, they were watching that stuff in 1965. Like, why are you going to Canada? Oh, no reason. I'm just 18 and want to go there. No, you don't. You want to dodge the draft. So what did they concoct? This is an amazing story. My dad told it to me one time, and he forgot that he told me about it, and probably I shouldn't be saying it, but I doubt they're going to go after a 74-year-old man who's close to death's door at this point, some 55 years after he dodged the Vietnam draft. But what they did is they told, this is back in 1965, so communication was all on paper, pretty much. The computers weren't being used. Communication was, light years slower than it is today. So they go in. He gets called to the draft board. He tells them he has diabetes, and this is all with the assistance of my uncle. And they're like, "Okay, well, come back in 3 days, and we're going to give you a blood test, make sure you're not bullshitting us." He's like, "Okay." So, and this was all the plan too. He starves himself for the 3 days. Some 12 hours to 6 hours before he's to take this blood test, he gets a hold of some pure glucose. Somehow my uncle, I think, got a hold of it for him, and he took this glucose, this high sugary thing. I don't even know what it was, and then he slammed it with a glass of orange juice and digested in the system right before, gave it 6 to 12 hours to get into his system. His blood sugar was off the charts because he hadn't had any other food to dilute it. And next thing you know, my dad's a diabetic and not having to go to Vietnam. 2 years later, I'm born. So thank you, Dad, for dodging the Vietnam draft in a weird way. So I know that's really shouldn't be part of a Memorial Day homage, but it is something that I think it's in the realm of what I'm talking about. So let's give some more shout outs. Like I said, my uncle, Jennifer, my stepfather, who also kept me out of the military by telling me it wasn't for me. I mentioned that a couple episodes ago when I talked about him. He was in the Air Force. I think he went in 1958 or 60. He was stationed in Japan. He had some cool stories about Japan, so that's really awesome. His son, Russell Alfred Hedden III, he is a career military man in the Air Force. He flew C-130s, I believe, and had some amazing stories. He flew missions over Bosnia. He flew missions over Kuwait. He was in a terrible plane crash in Kuwait where guys on his plane died, and he got court-martialed for it. But luckily, they found out he was not at fault. It was just bad conditions, and the plane crashed, and some people on that transport died. So it's not easy being in that military world, and that's why I give you guys a lot of credit. Once again, I'm not built for it. I'm not a big believer in what we're doing across the world as a superpower, but I know I'm not that guy. I'm not a military guy, and so like I said, high motorcycle. That's it was good to know that I was not that guy, thanks to my stepfather once again. And like I said, my stepbrother has really done really well. He's like I said, he was a career military guy. He owns a home in Alaska. He owns a home in Hawaii. He and his wife and his daughter are doing great, and he's got some stories. He's an amazing guy, super smart, and so there's a shout out to him. Some other people that were in the military, like I said, and I also mentioned my uncle, flew missions over Vietnam. My friend Malin Thomas, who was in the Marines as a gay man. That wasn't easy in the early 90s to deal with that. He came out to me when he was in the midst of being a gay Marine. I don't know if he came out to any of his fellow soldiers, but he was a 4-year Marine, and that was a way for him to figure out his life and get on. He's had an amazing life as well. I know there are more, and if I'm forgetting them, it's really embarrassing, because I know there are a ton of people I know that are in the military, and that, like I said, are great people. I worked with several of them at Digital Globe. When I was at Digital Globe, I was also part of that military-industrial complex that I say that I'm not a big fan of. I mapped airfields for the government, which were used by NGA, the National Geospatial Agency, which is basically the CIA's. It's their version of Google Earth, really, is what we do. Is we gave them very detailed information about all kinds of things. I was in the airfields department for about 7 years, made pretty good money doing it, and so I was part of that complex, and I met amazing people in that building. A lot of former Air Force people, especially Ruben Romero was a good dude, liked him a lot. Kind of I don't know if he's quite as far to the left as I am, but he was also, we'd do our liberal bitching outs, or just bitching about the Bush years when I started there in 2005. Good, like I said, a lot of good people. I'm trying to think of who's directly in my life that I know that is military, and I know I'm probably forgetting a lot of people, because a lot of people were involved in the military. My old boss, his name was Bart von Klingraf. He had the longest name ever. We just called him Mr. V. He was my boss. He was also an Air Force guy, and really cool about it. And this is another thing I found out about a lot of military people. They're very humble about it. We would, every Memorial Day, towards the end of the school year, we would bring all the veterans, which included a lot of parents. There goes an airplane. Welcome to outdoor YouTubing in the suburbs. But that a lot of guys, we would have a celebration, and the kids would chant USA, USA, and this is back when I worked in the elementary school, and Bart wanted very little to do with that. He was very humble about it. He got, he got his 4 years in. He that got him into education. He ended up being a teacher, a lead teacher in my department, and a good boss. And he was just like, I don't really. He just kind of stand back against the wall and go, yeah, I'm good. I don't need any high fives. I don't need any recognition for this. I'm not saying that you don't deserve recognition, people. I'm just saying that some people want it, some people don't. It's a weird Memorial Day homage, and it's belated. I hope I said some things that felt accurate and true and respectful, because I really do. Anyone that goes into that world, I have a lot of respect for. Talk to you soon. Talk to you next time. Bye.